Welcome back to Getting Down to Business. We were talking before with Tom Fabbri of Tom Fabbri International. Tom is self-employed, just like many people that are out there. What we are going to be talking about now is the power of partnerships and the resources that are available to us. We are joined with Barbara Ransom. Barbara Ransom is the president of the Brookhaven Chambers of Commerce Coalition and the director of operations for the Greater Port Jefferson Chambers of Commerce.
Good morning, Brian.
Glad I got that out.
Good job.
Well, thanks for training me on that. That is the power of a partnership. Could you explain to us where the Greater Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce fits in with the coalition?
Sure, thank you, and it's great to be here with all of you. Our coalition is made up of 20 chambers of commerce here in the town of Brookhaven, and the Greater Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce is just one of the chambers that is represented with the coalition. Say that 10 times.
No.
No. We've been established since 1992, and we meet regularly in the town offices, and thank you, Supervisor Mark Lesko. And we have a nice partnership with all the chambers here in the town of Brookhaven. And our Greater Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce, like most chambers, are made up of members that are representing small businesses predominantly. And small businesses, as hopefully we all understand, are the backbone of our economy, and specifically here in the town of Brookhaven. So it's very important.
Okay. So now, being a resource to these businesses, you're giving them an opportunity to get together from a networking standpoint, or becoming more of a resource in idea flow from everybody?
Well, networking is always a key element of being part of a member-based organization, being a chamber of commerce. But I think what's important that I think some people miss is that when you join a chamber of commerce, an intrinsic, intangible benefit that you get from a chamber of commerce is a level of professionalism. When your business joins a chamber of commerce, you have this level that brings you up to a higher dimension, and that when patrons, customers that use your particular service or product, whatever, when they see that you're a member of a chamber, they realize that you are a professional. And of course, our networking events are very important. We run large major events, like in the Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce. We have some great events coming up. We have the American Music Festival. We have the Taste of Port Jefferson. All of these bring people into the village that help hopefully then spill over and then serve the business community with sales, which is what everyone wants to do, is make money.
That's what it all is about,
Absolutely.
driving that business. Now, the Taste of Port Jefferson, that might be something for you to consider.
That's where you should come and be a sponsor chef.
For sure.
For sure. That's October 22nd. We can't wait. It's a great event.
Yeah, and I'm told the weather's going to be perfect that day.
Well, it's indoors anyway at the Village Center. Yes, no hurricanes.
We know those things.
Yes.
Right? And we're also joined by Ken Cerini. Ken Cerini is the president of Cerini and Associates. Ken, now you have started your business actually very similar to what Tom has done.
Except a little while, been in business a little while longer than Tom has. I started back in 1993. At that point, I was working for one of the big four accounting firms. They were promoting me to senior manager, and I had to make a decision: did I want to stay in Big Four, or did I want to be a partner of my own firm at that point in time? Jumped out, started working out of my garage. At that point, I had a newborn and a 1-year-old at home. My wife basically said to me, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And I dove in, and now we're up to about 40 people.
Talk about power of partnership.
Yep.
You know, having your wife as the partner in that one, because that's a lot of things are moving in around that time.
We all know that she wears the pants in the family.
Oh.
She just lets me borrow them for the day.
There you go.
Very nice.
So now you have also followed your passion. You could have stayed with the company, stayed with the accounting firm, but instead you wanted to go on your own. So that's...
Big Four accounting firm is very corporate. It's a very corporate environment. That's not necessarily who I am. I'm more like Tom. I don't like that corporate environment. I really like to be not necessarily the one who calls the shots, because that's not really what's important to me. But what's important to me is to be able to give back, to do things the way I like to do them, to have that feel. We do a lot of work with nonprofit organizations, and it's that feel of giving back to the community through helping the nonprofit sector, that psychic benefit that you get. And that was something that I just never really felt when I was in the Big Four world. I didn't really feel that I had that same connection with my clients that I have now. And to me, that was the more important thing. Even if I don't make the same amount of money or any of those types of things, it's really all about that connection and really enjoying and loving what you do. And that's, if you're going to do it every day, you got to love it.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt. Because no matter what, whether it's going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and having to stand up in front of 100 people and deliver a speech, you need to be comfortable with you, and you need to have the confidence to go with that. You also need to be confident to go out and start your own business, which is where you're at with that.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's one thing, you're in control of your own destiny as much as possible when you're going to climb. Mount Everest is coming up.
Yes.
Weather aside, you're still in control of your own destiny. Where you could say that with the businesses.
It's the same thing. I mean, when you think about doing something, whether it be business or personal, it really is all about the mental aspects of things. It's about not giving up. It's about having that right attitude, knowing what you want and going for it, and giving 100% of what you have towards it. And if you do that and you put yourself in the right mental place, you can succeed. And that's really what it's all about.
Absolutely. But you need to be passionate about it, right? And that's where your purpose, your passion, if you have those things, then you're going to have the persistence to get through the tough times, right? And so, I mean, you do all
that
the,
always exists. The tough times are always going to be there.
they're always
Well,
going
all
to be
these
there.
characteristics that we're speaking of are basically kind of an outline or of a mindset, I think, of small business owners. I mean, they have to be diligent. They have to have stick-to-itiveness. They have to be able to go in every day. They are their own person and their own boss. And so that all resonance with what these guys are saying.
Yeah, and being comfortable with the idea of things not working out every once in a while also. When you're doing a climb, you need to know that sometimes it's just not going to work because of circumstances beyond.
Absolutely. I mean, things are always changing, and you have to adapt, you have to make the adjustments, and you have to press forward. You have to always keep moving forward.
Right.
With climbing, because I do a little bit of climbing, but with climbing, it's all about understanding the risk. It's assessing the risk and making sure that you can mitigate the risk as much as possible. And the same thing happens in business. It's all about understanding the risks that you're undertaking. It's understanding how you're going to approach those risks, and it's making sure that if you're going to take a risk, it's not something that's going to drown your business, or it's not something that's going to kill you. It's something that you're going to survive from.
We don't want you to die.
So that's really it's you know, you have to take those chances. You have to grab for the next rock ahead of you or whatever, but you
It's
have to
being
do it in
prepared,
a
though.
right
You have
way.
to be prepared. I mean,
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
not going into this thing not thinking it through,
Oh,
and
no.
you have skill sets that you're really relying on. You prepared, you've researched. So I think those are all important elements when it comes to starting a small business. You really need to know the environment that you're going into, and is there a need for the type of service or product that you're offering? And I think that is some of the difficulties some people seem to make that error.
It's all about planning. You got
Planning,
to
sure.
plan appropriately. No matter what you do in life, you got to plan appropriately.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, you also, when you went branched out on your own, not just to say starting as an accountant, because you go back to early childhood years
Yes.
with that goal in mind.
Yeah, I was a counting major since the age of 12.
Right.
So everybody else wanted to be, baseball players, football players. I was first a ballerina. When that fell through, then I went for accounting.
The tutu wouldn't fit.
No, I just didn't. I just didn't look good in pink.
You need a backup plan.
Yeah.
I guess that's why it's the ice climbing, right, that you like?
I like ice and rock, yeah.
Right. Well, ice climbing, you're fully covered. Nobody can see you. You're good. Blend right in. But when you started your business, you also there was a reason for doing it. Besides just you wanted to run your own company, be a little bit more control. You saw a need out
Yeah,
there?
I mean, that's the case with anything. I mean, when you look at in my case, when I started with the nonprofit sector, and again, it's something that I kind of felt that affinity to. But still, there wasn't here on Long Island. There was really very few firms that were really working with the nonprofit sector and giving them the business advice that they needed. Everybody treated a nonprofit organization as a nonprofit organization, and there was so much more than that. They're businesses, and if you're going to be trying to provide real advice that's going to be meaningful and help them, you have to treat them like a business. Everybody
Sure.
treated them like social service companies,
right.
and that's not
Not.
really what it's all about.
Right.
So, by taking what I learned in Big Four and taking those business concepts and then applying them in a different place, in a environment where that really wasn't the case, it's helped me to grow the business. Right now, we work with over 100 nonprofit organizations. It counts for probably about 50% of what we do as a firm.
All right, so as a business, if we were going to be speaking to a business, which we are, the first thing they need to find is a passion for what it is that they're doing. Because no matter what, you're going to run into difficulties as it goes along.
And the bottom line is even if you have a passion, if that passion is not a sellable item, if you don't have a customer base that wants that passion, you're not going to succeed. And I think sometimes that happens. You know, people have an idea of a widget and they decide, oh, everyone's going to want the widget, but not necessarily. It could still be your passion.
Right.
Maybe it end up being a hobby, but you have to have something that is going to be able to be sold or produced that other people want.
Right. Well, so yeah, right. Other way, a hobby is great, but in like.
But
Tom's-
sometimes hobbies can go into
businesses, yeah,
businesses,
sure.
and passions can evolve. But
Right.
again, you know,
yeah.
I like flower designing. I was a florist for 13 years. I had a business. It was a marketable skill set that I could do.
Right.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
going to say
that
with
flies.
Tom, I mean, not that what you started off with was a hobby, but it kind of stems from your personal beliefs, you know,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
kind of deep rooted in who you are.
Sure.
And those are if you can find something that really exemplifies who you are as a person, and take that and incorporate that into a business that really can be monetized or whatever.
Monetized.
Monetized.
Absolutely.
Then that's a bonus.
Well, that's what I did. You know, when I wanted to make this jump from airline captain to something else, you know, I took a hard, long look at what do I love to do. Can I monetize it though? Can I realistically
living.
make a
Hello.
living?
Stuck
And you
and
know,
pay
I did
the
the
bills.
research and I saw, well, there's other guys out there doing it.
Right.
You know, there's other guys. There's a Laird Hamilton. You know, here's a guy who surfs, but he's got a multi-million-dollar business based on what he's doing: adventure, fun, travel, surfing, extremities. You know,
Right.
extreme sports. And I'm like, well, if this guy can do it, this is what I love to do. You know, adventure, travel, health, wellness, put the whole package together. But I need help doing that. You can't do it alone. You know, that's why.
So
that's why
who's
we're
your
here.
support system?
Brian Cohen is one of them.
Oh, how nice.
But I do have some people in South Carolina that are helping me brand me, helping me get my book out there, helping me write the book, you know, helping me market. I mean, there's all these things that I don't know about business. I know about health and wellness,
Sure.
you know, and myself and what I want to do, but how do I package that?
Well, that's where chambers of commerce come into a play because, you know, being connected to the business community keeps giving you more leads, and leads produce more leads. And so joining a chamber of commerce, you are introduced to the business community and you get to see other people that have the same mindset that you have. And that just typically opens doors. Again, you still have to keep working at it.
Right.
People wanna
It's very-
help.
Yeah, it's so important to have the right partnerships with absolutely everything. You
I was
know,
going to say
and-
the good part is though you recognize the fact that you couldn't do everything by yourself,
Right.
and you were smart enough to understand that you needed to bring in extra people. A lot of times business owners don't necessarily do that.
And that's where showing up at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, having a mentor relationship, a group that you could speak to, allows you to focus in on what is important and what you need to do. That's where it's at. If you have a business and you think that you're too old to do it, you're not. The 50 and over crowd is out there. They're accomplishing absolutely everything. You now have experience that you could take it out there. Follow your passion, find the need for what your passion is, and that will help you get down to business. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions and comments, call us 631-451-6563.